Welcome to Whispered Tales. Tonight, we'll journey through 5 soothing bedtime myths from around the world. Find a comfortable place, lie down, close your eyes, and let your breath settle. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. With each breath, feel yourself drifting deeper into comfort. As the night sound wraps around you, let your mind relax and prepare to travel through ancient stories at the pace of your heartbeat. In the beginning, the world was quiet, still, and dim. There was no sun, no moon, no stars to light the sky, just an endless dusk, like twilight stretching on forever. The world was grey and cold, wrapped in shadows. The animals moved slowly through the half-light, their eyes always searching, their steps always cautious. For they knew not the warmth of sunlight, only the chill of an eternal in-between. High above the forest, perched on the thick limb of an ancient cedar, lived Raven. Now, Raven was not the bird we know today. He was powerful, magical, a bringer of change. His feathers shimmered like obsidian under moonless skies, and he saw the world not just with his eyes, but with the old wisdom passed down by wind and water. Raven looked down upon the land and saw the suffering of the creatures below, the flowers that never bloomed, the rivers that moved with no sparkle, the people who wandered, unable to grow crops, unable to truly live. And in his heart, Raven felt a stirring, a pull, a purpose. He decided that the world needed light, and so he flew. With powerful wings, Raven soared through the endless dusk, past forests and mountains, beyond oceans and frozen valleys, until he came upon a place whispered about in the oldest dreams, the house of the Sky Chief. The Sky Chief was a powerful being, keeper of many things. One of them was a glowing ball of light, locked in a hidden box within a secret chamber. This, Raven knew, was the sun, but the Sky Chief was protective. He would not share the light with the world. Raven, knowing this, used his trickster magic to transform. He changed his shape, becoming a small, quiet child. Then he drifted down from the heavens and landed at the feet of the Sky Chief's daughter, just as she walked to fetch water from the stream. She saw the small, helpless child and, feeling compassion, brought him back to the house. There, Ravenchild grew, watched, and waited. He was clever, never drawing too much attention, but always observing the movements of the Sky Chief. And one day, when the Sky Chief opened the hidden chamber to admire the glowing orb, Raven saw his chance. He waited until night, when all were asleep. Then quietly, carefully, he returned to his true form. His wings unfolded like shadows unfurling in the dark. He crept into the chamber and opened the box. The moment the lid lifted, light burst forth, blinding, brilliant, pure. Raven seized the orb in his beak and launched into the sky. Behind him, the Sky Chief awoke and shouted in rage, but it was too late. Raven was gone. He soared higher and higher, the glowing orb burning brighter with each beat of his wings. The world below trembled. Shadows broke. The grey veil lifted. For the first time, golden light spilled across mountain tops, danced on ocean waves, and touched the faces of every creature, waking them to a warmth they had never known. Raven flew across the sky, painting it with the sun. He let the orb roll gently above the world, and when his wings grew tired, he placed it in the sky to rest, where it would rise and fall each day for all time. And so, light was born. But Raven had changed. The brilliant light had blackened his feathers, once pale, now midnight dark. he did not mourn the loss. He wore his new color with pride, a reminder that he had brought warmth and beauty to the world. From that day forward, Raven was no longer just a bird. He was the bringer of light, the painter of the sky. And so, when you see the sun rise in the morning, when you feel its warmth on your face, remember the raven who carried it in his beak through darkness and sky to place it there for you. Tonight, we turn our gaze upward, above the forests, the rivers, the mountains. Past the clouds and the blue veil of day lies the moon. She glows not with fire like the sun, but with a soft silver silence, quiet, watching, waiting. And if you look closely, truly closely, you might see her companion, a rabbit, a celestial figure always there, kneeling, working, glowing gently in the night. But how did a rabbit find its way to the moon? To know that we must travel far, beyond time and memory, to an age when the earth was young and the animals spoke the language of the winds. In the heart of a green valley, hidden behind mountain fog, there lived three friends, a monkey, a fox, and a rabbit. They were kind creatures, gentle in spirit and generous in heart. They shared their food, their laughter, and their days beneath the shade of ancient trees. Though each came from different corners of the forest, they were united by their love of life and one another. Now the heavens often watch what lies below, and the Jade Emperor, ruler of the skies and stars, looked down from his throne among the constellations. He saw the three animals living in harmony and decided to test their virtue. And so, one day, he descended from the sky in the form of a tired old beggar. He staggered through the forest, hunched and frail, robes torn, voice raspy. He found the three friends sitting beside a quiet stream. "Please," he whispered, "I am hungry and have not eaten in days." Without hesitation, the monkey sprang into the trees and returned with sweet fruit, mango, banana, and lychee, still warm from the sun. The fox slipped away into the shadows, returning not long after with fish she had caught from the nearby river, laying them carefully beside the fruit. But the rabbit had nothing. No fruit, no meat, no skills of fishing or climbing. She looked down at her small paws, then at her friend's offerings. And then, without a word, she gathered sticks for a fire. She lit it gently, watching the flames rise. Then turned to the old man and said, "I have nothing to offer you, but myself. Please, eat, if it will ease your hunger." And with that, she leapt into the fire. But before the flames could touch her fur, time froze. The old man, no longer bent, no longer tired, rose into the air, glowing like moonlight over a quiet lake. He revealed himself as the Jade Emperor, tears shining in his eyes. "You," he said softly, "have given the most." And in honor of her selflessness, he lifted the rabbit high, higher than the trees, the mountains, the sky, up into the heavens. He placed her gently upon the moon, where she remains to this day, immortal and peaceful, forever honored in the night. Now, if you ever look up on a quiet night, perhaps from your bedroom window, or while lying on your back beneath the stars, you might see her, the moon rabbit. Some say she kneels beside a mortar, gently grinding herbs into a luminous elixir of life. Others say she's shaping dreams out of stardust, sprinkling them gently into the minds of sleeping children. And others still believe she simply watches, in silence, remembering the fire and her leap of love. The moon waxes and wanes, but the rabbit never leaves. She is the symbol of selflessness, of give it even when there is nothing left to give. She teaches us that the purest form of kindness asks for nothing in return, and that such kindness will always be remembered by the stars. The monkey still gathers fruit, now old and wise, teaching younger monkeys the importance of generosity. The fox runs along the banks of rivers, her eyes always turning upward when the moon rises. And deep in that valley, some say they still feel the warmth of the rabbit's fire. A gentle flicker of courage in a world that sometimes forgets, but we remember. In festivals across East Asia, people hang lanterns and eat mooncakes, their sweet fillings a tribute to the rabbit's offering. They whisper her story to children. They draw her figure in the shadows of the moon, and they remind each other that love, true love, shines most brightly when it asks for nothing in return. So the next time you feel small, or like you have nothing left to give, think of the rabbit, not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most clever, but the one whose heart lit the night sky forever. Now, breathe deeply, let your body relax, feel the moonlight on your skin, even if only in your imagination. Let the rabbit on the moon watch over your dreams tonight as you drift gently into sleep. Tonight, we travel to the timeless lands of ancient West Africa, where earth and sky once shared one breath, and creation moved in rhythms deeper than we know. In that early age, there existed both Mawu, radiant creator goddess, and her twin counterpart, the skybringer Lun, balancing night and day. Together, they dreamed the world into being, drawing rivers, sculpting mountains, spinning moonlight and sunbeams. Yet their creation alone was not enough. So they breathed life into the Undemi, mysterious spirits of earth, water, sky, and hearth, tasked to carry the magic of Mawu into every corner of the world. They were the hidden weavers of balance, the unseen tenders of seeds, and the quiet singers in rivers. Tonight we honor their tale. The story begins on serene, unmarked plains, golden dunes against an endless sky, where young Mawu walked barefoot on fresh earth, feeling its every pulse. She paused and whispered, "Let there be life." Beneath her feet, seeds quivered just beneath the soil. She spread her arms like branches, and from her fingertips sparkled tiny lights that floated into the ground. Each seed awoke. Tiny sprouts emerged, soft tendrils of green breaking through amber earth. Mawu watched, her heart full, but the world still silent. So she continued her journey, along the rivers and over the hills, across valleys and up into the clouds, every step fueling a new form of life. And where she was not present, it was the Andami who carried on. There were 4 principal Andami: Nokun of the earth, Afolabi of the waters, Esu of the winds, and Afonja of the hearth and home. Each embodied a sacred element of the world. Nokun stirred the deep soils. In caves and hidden places, she whispered to seeds. She spoke in the rumble of thunder that cracks the earth, encouraging trees to root deep there. Afolabi traveled in rivers and rains. His laughter was the trickling stream, his tears the life-giving shower. He shaped valleys and groundwater, teaching balance in flow and stillness. Esu, the wind spirit, wove through branches and across savannas. He was the voice of the air, the sigh in a child's breath, the whisper across your face as you rest. And Afonja, keeper of hearth, sparked the first flame, the warmth of home, community, and shared meals beneath starlight. As the earth awoke, Mawu felt joy era, which soon gave way to healing and harmony. Fields hummed with life, Flowers in bloom, birds singing at dawn, animals waking. Rivers glistened with fish and frogs. Yet Maui realized that the world needed rhythm, seasons, cycles, renewal. So she summoned the Andemi together by the great lake. There, under the silver light of Mun, the original moon, she spoke softly. My children, guard this world well. Tend it with care, love, and patience. The balance of life depends on your watch. Each Andemi bowed. Nokun pressed her palm to the ground. Afolabi touched the wet reeds. Esu lifted leaves with a breeze. Afonja lit embers in a stone hearth. And that night, harmony was born into the land. The Andemi moved among the peoples, teaching them. Nokun taught planting. Afolabi taught fishing and irrigation. Esu taught communication and breath. Afonja taught fire, cooking, and gathering. Their lessons shaped countless generations. Humble, caring souls who listened to earth, water, air, and hearth. But over time, people forgot. They became distracted by greed, lost in curiosity, chasing noise instead of stillness. The seasons grew harsh. Crops failed. Rivers weakened. Houses were cold. Winds blew too fiercely. The world began to tilt. That night, Maui felt sorrow. She gathered the Ondemi once more beside the great lake. The sky was bruised and starless. The earth cracked. The rivers choked with dust. Homes dark and empty. Maui knelt, her voice trembling. My children, our world falters. Will you stand again? One by one, the Andemi answered. Nokun touched the cracked soil, spoke to it in ancient rhythm. Earth began to breathe. Roots stirred. Afolabi walked the dry stream bed. He called hidden waters to surface. Rivers flowed, hesitant but alive. Esu rose on a silent breeze. He whispered to trees, coaxed seeds and plants to awake. Air brought renewal. Afonja struck flint upon stone, sparks glowed into fire. He brought warmth to homes, gathering people around embers once more. And Maui watched, healed, and whispered her boundless love into everything. The world learned again. Balance returned. Crops prospered. Rivers sang. Hearth fires warmed. Winds carried stories and songs at twilight. People came to honor Maui and the Andemi. They tapped drums beneath the waning moon, danced around fires, whispered prayers into the wind, and left grain in stone altars by rivers. They taught their children to kneel before the earth, beside the water, into the hearth, and into each breath they breathed. Tonight, as you lie beneath your blankets, breathe in the scent of rain-washed earth. Breathe out the warmth of a glowing hearth. Let your breath flow gently, like Afolabi's river, like Isu's wind, like Nokun's rooted soil, like Afonja's firelight. Feel the harmony Maui gifted to all creation. And when sleep gathers you into its embrace, know this: the world is balanced. It breathes in harmony. You are part of its song. The Andemi are still here, tending, guiding, nurturing. So rest, dear listener, under the watchful eyes of earth, water, air, and hearth. Good night. Tonight, we journey to the rolling green hills and mist-shrouded streams of ancient Celtic lands, where the salmon of wisdom swims in sacred waters, and knowledge flows like gentle rivers. In the days before today's memory, there stood a magical well by an oak-lined riverbank, beside which grew the oldest hazel tree in all the land. This was not ordinary water, nor ordinary tree. It was said that upon these hazel branches hung 9 hazelnuts, the nuts of divine knowledge. At the heart of that river lived the salmon of wisdom. It had feasted on the nuts, gaining ancient insight. Seeing what eyes couldn't see, hearing what ears couldn't hear, understanding the hidden currents of the world. Young Fionn McCumhall, destined to become a great hunter, stood upon the river's edge. He was with his mentor, the wise poet Finn Eaxies, who had spent years fishing these same waters, hoping to catch the legendary salmon and taste its wisdom. But Fionn himself was young, hopeful, and patient. Finn Aces, with careful reverence, placed a small glowing hook and waited as the river pulsed under moonlight. For days, he stood there, unmoving, listening to the soft murmur of water slipping over stones, breathing in the scent of wood smoke and wet earth. On the seventh night, as the fire beside them flickered low, the salmon of wisdom finally took the hook. With mighty power, the salmon leapt, silver scales glinting like stars, then submerged once more into the trickling stream. Finn, with reverence, caught it. He held the salmon, stroking its body, speaking softly to it, feeling its timeless spirit. He lifted it gently, speaking words of thanks to the river, the tree, the hazelnuts, and the unseen ancient ones. And there, under the flickering firelight, he planned to cook it, but not yet. For first, he wanted the salmon's wisdom. He would taste but a small bite, and learn what lay hidden in its flesh. He turned to young Fionn. "Fionn," he whispered, "cook this salmon, but let me taste the wisdom first." Fionn, eager and obedient, took the fish and prepared it carefully beside the campfire. Flames danced beneath it, smoke curling into the night. Fionn watched his mentor nibble a single bite. Instantly, Phineas closed his eyes, a soft smile on his face. He nodded, as if awakening from a dream. Then, something unexpected happened. Fionn, curious, leaned forward and accidentally burnt his thumb on the hot salmon as he adjusted it. He instinctively put his thumb in his mouth to soothe the sting. And in that moment, knowledge passed. Fionn's eyes widened. Suddenly, he understood the secrets of the salmon, the currents of the river, the wisdom of the hazelnuts, the hidden depths of the trees, the stars, the earth beneath his feet. He felt himself filled with echoes of ancient memory. He saw patterns in water flow, heard songs hidden under the wind, understood the balance of life and earth. Finn Aces, surprised yet joyful, placed a hand on Fionn's shoulder. "You have the gift now, passed from the salmon to you." And thus, Fionn McCumhall became the keeper of wisdom, leader of the Fianna, beloved protector of his people. Yet the salmon returned to the waters, its service complete, gliding through silent currents, returning to hazel-shaded pools, continuing its sacred journey. Now, the ancient Celts tell this tale by riverbanks and at firesides, in festivals under full moons. They remind each other that wisdom often comes to us when we least expect it, sometimes when we are burnt, and sometimes when we simply breathe it in. Narrator, in a softer, meditative whisper. Tonight, breathe in the scent of moss and oak. Breathe out the rippling water's lullaby. Feel the wisdom of ages in your bones. Feel the quiet gift of insight arriving gently, perhaps in dreams, or in moments of stillness. Know this, dear listener. Wisdom is not always a trophy to be captured, but often a gift passed in a moment of trust, bestowed gently, silently, like a whisper on the water. So sleep now, under blanket of stars. Let your mind drift on quiet currents. Let your dreams carry the salmon song. Good night. Tonight, dear listener, we journey across vast desert sands under a canvas of stars, to meet the nightingale whose song first touched the heavens. Long, long ago, when the world was still learning its quietest secrets, the desert nights were more silent than they are now. The dunes glowed pale silver in the moonlight, but there were no travelers, only stillness and sky. At the heart of that silence sang a tiny nightingale. Her feathers were soft as dusk, her eyes gentle and wise. Every night she perched on a lone desert acacia and sang, not for praise, but for a love she could not name. White as starlight, her song carried across the sands, weaving invisible threads between earth and sky. Each note she sang told of longing for connection, for warmth, for something beyond the silent dunes. Her melody pulsed through the night air, drawing unseen hearts to listen. But there was no audience, only the wind. Yet the sky heard her. Far above, in realms just beyond mortal sight, the stars paused and tilted closer. Some say the stars whispered to the moon, who in turn leaned near the acacia and touched the bird's feather with soft silver light. The nightingale felt it. She closed her eyes and sang with deeper meaning, her voice tender, woven with hope and devotion. And then something extraordinary occurred. From the highest of heavens descended a beacon cascade of starlight. It drifted down like snow, crystal sparkles filling the dunes and settling in the path of her song. The great conductor of the heavens, the one who weaves star songs, felt the echo of that nightingale's devotion. He bowed in reverence, recognizing a love so pure that even the vast cosmos could not ignore it. He called her softly, "Beloved nightingale, your heart sings of the universe. Will you lend your voice to the sky?" The nightingale's heart fluttered. She paused mid-note. She looked upward into an endless tapestry of sparkling lights and shimmered dunes. Then, with quiet courage, she nodded. He granted her two gifts. First, he hollowed her heart, creating an eternal chamber within her bird form, so she could carry the vastness of night sound within. Second, he lifted her into the heavens. Now, whenever she sings, her song becomes the twinkling of stars. And so, each evening, when the desert stills and the moon rises high, you may hear her, a soft trill, far across the dunes, echoing between sand and sky. Some say that wherever her melody drifts, travelers feel calm. Sailors drifting at sea feel assured. Dreamers lying beneath blankets feel their hearts open softly to the night. Her song reminds us that even the smallest voice, when woven with devotion, can fill the spaces between earth and sky. Now, people across lands gather by desert fires under starlight, sipping sweet tea and listening for her call. They leave small invitations, notes, whispers, flute echoes, hoping to hear the nightingale's melody as it drifts down to join theirs. Tonight, lie back. Imagine the desert stretching wide, a blanket of stars overhead. Hear the nightingale's breath, her soft song, her pure devotion filling the night. Breathe in calm, breathe out thought. Let her melody carry you higher into sleep. Rest now under moon and stars, heart hollowed for infinite song, sheltered by the heavens' hush.